6:43 now. We're just 1 month away for qualifying for fall elections, and the race for Louisiana governor will be at the top of the ballot. Governor Bel Edwards officially kicked off his campaign over the weekend in his hometown of Amite and is here in New Orleans today to talk about some of the issues facing him and his opponents. Thank you for coming in, Governor. First of all, this is a very different race than the one 3.5 years ago. You were running against a sitting U.S. senator, a very unpopular senator who had a lot of baggage. This time you're running against two other, at least so far, two other opponents. Yeah. One a sitting congressman who does not have that kind of baggage.
No, but at the end of the day, the election is always about the future. And you can gauge the sort of work that I will do as governor by the work that I have done. And I'm very, very confident that the people of Louisiana know that the state is fundamentally better off in so many ways today, compared or contrasted, I should say, to 2015. When we inherited the largest deficit in the history of our state, the economy was in shambles, the state was in a ditch. Today we are much, much better off. We have the largest economy in the history of the state. We have personal income at all-time high, historic lows in unemployment, per capita debt falling for the first time in 10 years. And we did all of this on a bipartisan basis, all of it. In contrast to what you see out of Washington, which is a lot of nothing, we've been able to make things happen in Louisiana. We've cut the number of uninsured in Louisiana by more than half with respect to health insurance. We've done criminal justice reform so that we're safer, we're saving money, and we're no longer leading the nation in our incarceration rate. We gave the first teacher pay raise in 10 years, the first net new investment in higher education in 10 years, an additional investment in early childhood education. So our state is fundamentally better off. The people know it, and that's why I'm optimistic both about the campaign, but also about the future of our state.
And another difference from last time, you were in more attack mode then because your opponent had a big vulnerability. This time you are running on a record because you have a record, and you think it's a good one.
There's no doubt in my mind. The people of Louisiana believe it's a good one too, and that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges, because we do. But we're in a position of strength relative to where we were before, and we can better attack those challenges that remain. But the people of Louisiana know that we're better off, and that's not just the polling, although the polling suggests it too. That's me getting out and talking to people. I do it all the time, and I know that the people of Louisiana remember what our state was like in 2015. They've seen us work on a bipartisan basis. They like the fact that Democrats and Republicans will still sit down and talk and reason and compromise and forge solutions here in Louisiana. They don't see that coming out of Washington, D.C. And at the end of the day, they just know that we are better off. And so we have a record to run on. I'm proud of the record. And we're going to let the people of Louisiana decide. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about the campaign, and I'm optimistic about the future of our state.
Is it harder for a Democrat in this state to lead with a mostly congressional legislature? No, I'm sorry, mostly Republican congressional legislature?
Well, first of all, leadership is a challenge regardless. You know, we had a Republican governor and Republican legislature for the previous 8 years, and you saw what happened. It was a disaster. But we've been able to work on a bipartisan basis with leadership, with rank and file members, regardless of party, regardless of what part of the state they've come from. And together we've done the hard work necessary to turn our state around. That's exactly what has happened. And again, that's why I feel good about this campaign. That's why I feel really good about the future of our state. I think our best days are ahead of us for sure.
And according to some polls and things like that, there are fewer Democrats now registered in this state than there were before. This is a very red state. You know, you're looking for that Democratic base to hold on to them, but the heartbeat bill, did that turn off some of your constituents in the Democratic Party?
Well, I suspect that it did, but at the end of the day, I'm consistent. I told people where I was 4 years ago when I ran, yes, and had that track record for 8 years. But it also extends to things like the Medicaid expansion, which is also a pro-life position. We have people alive in Louisiana today all over our state because of Medicaid expansion. We have not lost a single rural hospital in the state of Louisiana. It helped us close the budget deficit, and it's had a tremendous economic impact as well. we have cut by more than half the percentage of people in Louisiana who lacked health insurance. The lowest percentage in the history of our state without health insurance today. So I'm proud of my track record. At the end of the day, people in Louisiana are going to look at the whole spectrum of issues and see whether we've been successful or not. And I'm confident that when they compare and contrast where the state is today with where we were 4 years ago, that we're going to be able to be victorious.
Wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming in. As we said, qualifying for the governor's race opens on August 6th. Two major Republican candidates have already launched their campaigns. They are Congressman Ralph Abraham from Northeast Louisiana and Baton Rouge businessman Eddie Rispone. We'll talk with Congressman Abraham in our next hour. Dave?